I swear to God, I had my mic set as my Siren X. OBS, why the hell would you do that? No! Okay, let me explain. I swear to God, my mic was set as this. My Siren X. For some reason, I literally looked over at my screen to check it out, because I noticed that the little audio bar wasn't moving. And so I checked, and sure enough, it was set as default. Isn't it supposed to automatically detect what microphone's plugged in? Which in this case would either be the webcam right here, or this mic, which is the one I'm using. I swear to God, it was set as the Siren X on Monday when I did my stream. So why the hell did it just... OBS, can you not please? Seriously, I thought it would save that. In fact, I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, if you missed what I was trying to say earlier, because apparently OBS likes to mess with me. What I was trying to say is, with the Game Awards literally being just a day away, quite literally 24 hours away, or 24 hours and 30 minutes, less than, you know what I mean. I thought it best to make a list of things to talk about. Now, some of the things on this list, some of the things I'll be talking about in this stream won't be listed. There was a mosquito on my face. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. I wasn't trying to hurt myself on purpose. There was literally a mosquito that was like right in front of my face. So that's the only thing I could like do. Anyway, so I made a list of expectations, which are things that I know are going to be there. Hopes, which are things that have a chance, but it's not guaranteed. And then wishes, which are things that I don't think are going to be there, but it's likely in some way, shape, or form. So, without further ado, yeah, so here it is right here, TGA 2022 list. It's right here, actually, so, yeah, so, starting off with my expectations. So, the first thing on the list would be Horizon Forbidden West DLC. This has been somewhat confirmed because of a leak that came out. So yeah, things are starting to leak to an extent about the Game Awards, but it hasn't been like measured where it's like everything has been. But it's just like here and there, little snippets. But it has been reported that a DLC will be announced called... Okay. Sorry about that. Oh. You better not disconnect. I swear to God. Don't. I'm on to you. Okay. The next thing is Crash Wumpa League. This was actually confirmed quite a few months ago. We don't know what this is, so this is Crash Bandicoot Wumpa League that I'm talking about. But essentially what it is that, I don't know exactly what it is, but if I'm willing to guess, and I am, if anyone who has ever played the PS1 games, you're probably very familiar with this, or are somewhat familiar with what I'm about to talk about, but there was a party game a la, Mario Party called, Crash Bash. It was a party-style game, kind of like Mario Party for the N64 and so on and so forth. So I have reason to believe that either it's going to be a remake of that, or it might be its own original game, because it's called Wumpa League, and it could either be a remake of Crash Bash, it could be a new game sort of along those lines, or it could be its own original idea, like maybe a Crash Bandicoot soccer game, you know. But again, we have no idea, so there's that. Third thing, something Nintendo related. Multiple somethings. Okay, so that, well, that's the thing, we don't know, because, we could very well get some Nintendo stuff, because, bear in mind, the stuff that I'm talking about is strictly about the announcements and whatnot that we'll be seeing at this event, which I've heard from, no, not heard from, but I think Jeff Keighley said something about, hold on, again, sorry about the disconnect a while ago, luckily it's not, you know, yelling at me saying, hey, I'm gonna disconnect, is that okay? No, it's not okay. Anyway, so, oh, hi. Ah! uh, Method acting. Okay, so, Jeff Keighley's awards and his announcement extravaganza streams live on Thursday. It's almost time for gaming's annual end-of-year awards and announcements extravaganza. The 2022 edition of the Game Awards takes place on Thursday, December 8th, with the opening act kicking off at, so for me it would be 6:30 whenever that happens, so, I'm gonna go over what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. So, I stayed home today. I wasn't planning on going walking anyway. I will not be going walking tomorrow anyway, because I want to go ahead and get myself ready for this whole thing. I've already shown off the drinks I have, the 3 sparkling juices, which, it's kind of funny that I mentioned that. A friend of mine on Facebook said that it's possible that she delivered them, but, she later said, oh, wait, I forgot you live in Texas, so it's probably another company. But, she happens to be a trucker, so, Mela, if you're watching this or listening, shout out to you, you're awesome. Thank you for your service in the trucking industry. You're amazing. Go get him, girl! Anyway, that being said, so, as a reminder, Red and White Grape will be specifically for the awards. And I'm talking about the major awards, not the smaller awards where, trying to see. I don't know. But, news, right, so, oh, right, So red and white grape juices will be specifically for the big awards. So any smaller awards given by like the smaller awards where I forgot her name. Sydney. I think it's Sydney something. I forgot her name. About. Host. Oh. I'm trying to find it, but so we have Jeff Keighley right here. I know the girl's name is Sydney, but she's the one that gives out the smaller awards. I will not be doing a drink for that. But what I'm going to do for the awards, like the major awards where they actually hand it out on stage, I'll be switching between the drinks for each successive award. But for the game announcements and other such announcements, I'll be drinking the cider. Now, in the event, which will be very likely in this case, that I run out of the cider, what I plan on doing is I'll substitute it with one of the drinks. So, that's part of the reason why I have 3 drinks, is because of the fact that inevitably I'm going to run out of one of them. Just because of, everything that's going to be going on. And that's despite the fact that this is going to be shorter. Like, this whole event is going to be, I think, an hour and a half long, give or take. So it might be longer than that, depending on the speeches and stuff. So there's that. Anyway, how about we talk about more? So, like I said, something Nintendo related. I'm not saying for certain that this is going to happen, but it could happen, and I'll explain why. Next year, a certain game franchise that Nintendo completely forgot about is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Star Fox. Nintendo, please, for the love of God, and for the love of R-Wings, I have one right over there from Starlink. Great game, by the way. It's very underrated. Sorry for screaming at the microphone, by the way. But... Huh? Yeah, so next year is going to be the Star Fox series' 30th anniversary. Nintendo, for the love of God, do not give us another rehash of 64. We've gotten a remaster of it for the 3DS, which was very cool, because it was a remaster meant to take full advantage of the 3D capabilities. And then we got Zero. Why? Now, an example of what I mean by Nintendo doing something new is the tie-in with Starlink, the game that I mentioned earlier. How they had a Nintendo Switch exclusive thing where you could have the R-Wing and Fox McCloud. And you would have exclusive stuff regarding that. So, for example, the R-Wing itself would be able to do the same barrel rolls. It would have the twin lasers by default without having any weapons attached. It would basically be... Think of the game, in terms of the Nintendo Switch version, as an unofficial Star Fox game. Because it wasn't made by Nintendo, it was made by Ubisoft. But with that addition of the R-Wing specifically to the Switch version, so you can't play it on the other platforms, only the Switch, which is understandable. What's also cool is you could play the game in digital mode, where, and what I mean by this is, you'll still have the cartridge in the system, but basically the game will allow you to switch between using the gamepad thing that the game comes with, or playing it to where everything is all digital, so you don't have to pause the game, switch everything out, and then do all that other stuff. Instead, you could just do that without having to worry about holding some big clunky controller. So there's that. But I have another thing that I want to say. So this year marks a specific anniversary for an underrated Star Fox game that I think deserves the recognition that many people haven't really given it. Adventures. Yeah, that's right. That game, believe it or not, is my all-time favorite Star Fox game. It may not have been perfect, even though, like, let's face it, it was kind of a carbon copy of Zelda to some extent. But that's not a bad thing. The game was still very good. It's kind of... It's not perfect. It's not terrible. It's great. It's a great game. But it would be really cool is if they either had a remaster or a full-on remake of that. And either way, I would love them to have like accessibility features and all that stuff. That is, if Nintendo does decide on doing something for Star Fox instead of, just ignoring the franchise. Like a certain other franchise. F-Zero. Which apparently Nintendo is like, oh, we can't really think of anything innovative to do for another F-Zero. You mean like online play? Track editor? Like shorter than usual because of the fact that our GTA Plus benefits expire on the 12th. So that's next Monday. Usually when this happens, that means a new DLC is just around the corner. Anyway, so what would be cool is alongside the new event week, which is tomorrow, we could get either a trailer alongside it or an announcement from Rockstar saying stay tuned to the Game Awards tonight for the unveiling of the next GTA Online update. Because again, this GTA Plus benefit thing, which I'm not subbed to GTA Plus, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but I'm also not saying you should, because it's more meant for newer players. That's what they're targeting, is for newer players who may be new to GTA. So don't think that I'm trying to endorse it, because I'm not. But I'm also not saying that people shouldn't buy it. If you want to check it out and see what it's like, you're more than welcome to. But just know that you can always cancel the membership at any given moment. And, you'll have to wait it out, Anyway, with that, maybe something from Sega. So, we know about the Like a Dragon stuff. Maybe, I was about to say Yakuza, but they've been transitioning from Yakuza to Like a Dragon. Because that's what they're going to name the games now, I think. So, yeah. Alright. What's next? Maybe some in-game promotions for certain games. Like, for example, say you're watching on Twitch. And you could have, like... Oh, wait, they already announced that. It's like this Twitch drops thing where you could get like rewards on Twitch, and you could use those in certain games. So like you could have a DLC code for something. Something else that'd be cool. So this next thing is, well... This is something that I would like to talk about. I would like them to talk about I'm kidding. I'll talk about it in a moment. Anyway, hopes. Things that could happen but are not guaranteed. Number one, and this most likely will happen because, again, we're a few weeks from the end of the year. A teaser for... That was a mosquito. Or, wait, no, I think it was a gnat. A teaser for the 2023 content for Sonic Frontiers. So, what I mean by this is, a few days ago, it was announced by Sega, or Sonic Team, or Sonic, you know what I mean, that throughout next year, we're going to be getting content for Sonic Frontiers, including some new story content, or I think it's a new story, and of course, playable characters, which is really freaking cool, because we haven't had that since... In terms of the mainline games, I'm talking specifically about games that aren't, mediocre. Even though the game I'm about to talk about is mediocre. 06, that was the last game that had actual playable characters other than Sonic. Because you had Amy, you had Shadow, you had Tails, you had Knuckles, Rouge, I think. I think Omega, there's Silver, there's Blaze, I think. And it was super ambitious with that too, because before then, there was Sonic Heroes, and there was the adventure games. But them talking about having a new story and the new playable characters, and you could tell right away that it was, Tails, Knuckles, Amy. I love that. Because it shows that they really did mean that this game could be the foundation for perhaps a new Sonic Adventure game. So, because of Sonic Frontiers doing so well, we could very well actually get a Sonic Adventure 3. Partially because of how successful it's been, and how critically acclaimed it's been. Because with this game, for once, Sonic's not a laughingstock. Sonic isn't, his chuckle-headed self being like, Bobby Nose-Hair, that's the best thing I've heard all day. Pontac and Graf, please never write for a video game again. Ever. That was terrible. And I happen to have that game. I got it early access. $40 not so well spent. I did beat the game though. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was meh. Anyway, sorry for the diarrhea face. Let's see. Yeah, so obviously with the new playable characters, so Tails, obviously, you'll probably be able to fly for a short time with the Tails. Amy will probably get to attack with her hammer. And maybe she'll be able to do a hammer bounce thing where she, slams down to the ground with her hammer and she's like, Wah! Knuckles, obviously, will do his thing. But the new story... It's hard to say, but the other stuff is really cool too, like Jukebox, photo mode, which is awesome. I don't know why the game didn't have that straight off the bat. People even mention that, but lo and behold, Sonic Team threw us a bone. Challenges in the open zone. There were also challenge mode things where you could refight bosses and stuff, which is really freaking cool. Finally, we can refight the Titans without having to start a new game. But yeah, so there's all that. So basically, what I'm trying to say is Sonic Team could at least give us a teaser for what we can expect. Maybe some snippets of gameplay about what we can expect from this stuff. This next thing is what I was about to talk about earlier regarding something being really cool if it ever happens. So as you all know, over the past about 2 years now, I've been talking about the possibility of a certain something making its way home on PS5. PlayStation Home. Now I know it's wishful thinking. I know I keep talking about it over and over and over. There's been evidence here and there, more and more has been coming out. You know, like the trademark renewals back in 2019 and all this other stuff. But I think it's going to happen at some point. And if it does, and this is the wishful thinking part, given how long it's been since Home closed down, it's possible that the developers of Home, London Studio, it's possible that they've been working on a new version for the PS5 since 2015, which is when the actual development of the PS5 started and when Home closed down. Given the fact that it's been at least 7 years at this point, it's possible that Home is ready to come back as a fully fledged free-to-play game. And you're probably wondering, well, wait, what's this got to do with the Game Awards? Like, you're saying that it could be integrated with it in some way. What I think would be absolutely amazing is if they announce it during the opening act, and they'll say, you don't even have to wait long to play it because it's available right now on PS5. And the best part is, and I've talked about this in my wishlist thing that I've talked about, event spaces, which are a thing where they could have a special event going on and they could have a public space tied to it. They could have a public space related to the Game Awards where you could watch it live and vote for stuff, maybe receive items every once in a while, do some mini games and whatnot. That's awesome if they do that. Anyway, it's been rumored and even said by some people that I follow on Twitter and stuff that it's likely that Sony's going to have a pretty big presence at the event, at the Game Awards. Because we all know about the Horizon Forbidden West DLC that's been rumored. We have the likelihood of, well, here's some that you never really thought about. It's also been, stated and claimed and reported that we'll get a Uncharted reboot by another developer with Naughty Dog helping them out. Which is awesome because I absolutely freaking love Uncharted. My very first Uncharted game was 3, and I got that with the PS3. I got literally almost 11 years at this point. Which is crazy to think about, but it's true. Anyway, the next thing on the hopes list is Final Fantasy 16. Come on. It's gotta happen, right? Next, Spider-Man 2. Please! It's been over a year. An announcement for PlayStation Stars. What could that be? It was revealed that Sony does have plans for Stars to expand to consoles. And what I think they could do is for the PS5 specifically, and this is going back to the PlayStation Home thing, and if it comes back, which I know it will, the digital collectibles that you collect are, again, 3D representations of stuff. Oh. Maybe not. Hello. Wait. What the? Bo Shanahy, maybe not. Hello. Maybe not for the PlayStation Home thing? Yeah, but like I said, the stuff that I've been talking about in this part of the list are things that could happen, but they also couldn't. It's not guaranteed, so it may not happen at all. But a man can dream, can't he? What's with my voice cracking so much? Seriously, I'm 25 years old and I'm having voice cracks like I'm a 12-year-old. Anyway, so should PlayStation Home come back and, should PlayStation Stars, have integration to consoles at the end of this year? What could happen if PlayStation Home does come back on PS5 is they could make it to where any digital collectibles that you've earned through Stars could be displayed in your apartment. Like the personal spaces you have. That'd be really cool. Anyway, now for the last part of the list. Wishes. New Doom game. Probably going to be Xbox exclusive because, Microsoft. What else? New Duke Nukem game. Probably not going to happen because, people get offended by everything nowadays. And not only that, but the last time the Duke Meister had a game, it was just a rehash of something from 96. It was okay. Now this next thing's gonna sound weird, but let me explain. I've been playing this thing, or this platform, or whatever you want to call it, since a little after it came out. Roblox and more platforms. So, what I mean by this is, a while after the Xbox One came out, Roblox came out on Xbox One. I think it was 2015 or something. But what I would like to see, and there's been a lot of evidence, it's been shown at their Bloxy thing, their little event thing that they had a few months ago, that they do plan on bringing Roblox to other platforms. So, for example, they have this universal app that they've been working on, and it will inevitably come to PS5 or PS4, depending on the platform of your choice, and even Quest 2. Now, I say Quest 2 because the Quest 1 is being phased out, because the Quest 2 is a little bit more powerful and more up-to-date, and we might even be getting a Quest Pro sometime next year. Most likely around the same time as the Quest Pro. And no, I'm not trying to confuse any of them. So that's what I mean by Roblox and more plats. I just wanted to shorten the word plats because coolness, I guess. I even put a Z there instead of the S. New London Studio game. This is in regards to PlayStation London Studio, who, back in October, they actually had a little image that they showed of a concept image for their new game that they're working on, which I will happily show off. By the way, Boshin, I hope you're doing well. Doing pretty good myself. So this is the game I was talking about. This image right here is actually from their upcoming IP. And the thing is, they've said that they're making a new team from the ground up, and typically what game studios will do is they'll have multiple teams working on multiple things. Oh, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. So yeah. So I'm not saying for certain that this is going to be shown. Like I said, this list that I made is categorized into 3 separate things. Expectations, which are things that I think are going to have a high probability of happening, or, being shown off. Hopes, which are not fully likely to happen, but could potentially happen, but also couldn't. It's one of those things where it's half wishful thinking, half good probability. And then the last thing is wishes, which are, just wishful thinking entirely. But London Studio, yeah, they're making a new team from the ground up for this new game, which they had a blog post on here, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. We haven't seen anything else new about the game, but from this image alone that I've seen, it's pretty cool. And then the last thing on the list. It's going to be a little weird. Movie announcements and trailers. If you remember, we had Black Adam. I think that was shown off during Summer Game Fest, I think, or something else. I don't remember. Better not be that same that. But at the Game Awards last year in 2021, we had the official unveiling of Sonic 2. Like, the actual trailer. And, so I have no doubt in my mind that if there's any new movies, so maybe a new trailer for the Mario movie or something along those lines. And it doesn't even have to be an actual movie. It could be something else entirely. So like maybe a new trailer for the Last of Us TV show. Stuff like that. They could definitely take the time to have that shown at the Game Awards. So there's that. Ow! What? I already submitted the vote! What? Oh yeah, by the way, they removed the polls. They removed the polls. You could still vote, but here's the thing. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's just broken, but it's also been reported that what's happening is they're investigating the votes of Genshin Impact, because I'm not trying to point fingers, but it has been rumored that people may have been botting votes for it just for it to win. And it started this whole big war between Sonic Frontiers fans and Genshin Impact fans, which people don't harass each other about this. Please don't. Don't spread lies about each other. Don't go to war with each other about who you hope to win. Because I want Sonic Frontiers to win, but I also want the have fun voting for their favorite games, And I'm not trying to say that Sonic Frontiers is better than Genshin Impact. I played Genshin Impact myself. I haven't played it too much because, I don't hate the game. I love the game. It's just had other stuff that I wanted to play, but I may get back to it at some point. But from what I've played so far, it's pretty cool. I'm not trying to knock the game for that. So if you're a fan of the game and are voting legitimately, then that's good. That's very good. What I have a problem with, if this turns out to be true, and it's been reported and someone even found a little bit of evidence that this is the case, it's been reported by people through, inspecting the page's data and everything that someone has been using a bot, but we don't know for sure yet. So what the Game Awards staff is doing is they're investigating the whole matter to make sure that it's not being botted. But if it is the case, then there's a likelihood that the game will be disqualified. And yeah, so all we have to do for that is wait and see. But nonetheless, yeah, so again, I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not trying to say for sure that that is what's going on. But I'm also going to say this. Do not harass other people in other fandoms of any kind for any reason about, oh, your game doesn't deserve to win because so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. Don't. Because that's going to make your fandom look bad. So say for example, you're a fan of Sonic. You want Sonic Frontiers to win. And you start harassing the Genshin Impact players because, well, it's widely been considered that a whole lot of Genshin Impact players are pedophiles. It's a running joke. I don't get it. I don't point fingers at people like that. I do hate pedophiles, though. Pedophiles do not deserve to live. Oh. Oh, it did? Oh. It's back now, right? Anyway, yeah, so... I guess what I'm trying to say is, just be considerate of others when you're voting for your games on these kinds of events, because people don't deserve to be harassed and bullied for liking one thing instead of another. People should be treated with respect, unless they are not a very respectable person. But, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Sorry it wasn't very long. I just wanted to go over that list about stuff that I hope to see, I know is going to be there, and wish to see. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow night for the Game Awards. Because, believe it or not, at this time tomorrow, we're already going to be into the thick of it. But, I digress. Thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, so, just to reiterate about my plans. I got 2 of these. Plastic wine glasses and 3 different flavors of, this isn't actual wine. This is sparkling grape juice. Although one of them is actually apple cider. Oh, God, my back. Ah. Ugh. Anyway. With that being said, again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow evening. Like I said, for me, I'm going to be starting my stream at 6. I might do something to pass the time until 6:30. But not City Guesser, because as I've said before, I had a copyright takedown and a copyright strike on my channel a week or 2 ago because, you know, just some people want to watch the world burn. But yeah, so I'm not going to be playing that on stream anymore. I'll probably play it in my free time, but I'm not going to be streaming it just for the sake of that potentially happening again. So I hope you understand. I'll probably be playing just any other game. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I know I keep saying that, but I truly do appreciate it. I may not be a huge channel. I only have like 209 or 210. Sorry for messing up on the words so much. I'm just super excited for tomorrow. But yeah. Nonetheless, I may not be a huge channel, but I'm thankful either way for the people that I have garnered. Because I'm not doing this for the popularity, I'm doing it because I enjoy doing this anyway. But, see you later. Have a great day or night, depending on where you live.